y'all. I am Dr. Danielle Mullen, and I am here with the dope Scent Rock, and I am excited to be here.
Yo, what's up, fools? You know who it is. Big Bad Scent Rock back at it again here at the very, very, very important and prestigious. Is that a word? Prestigious?
It's prestigious. See, you about to mess me up with the word.
Prestigious. Hold on, start over. Prestigious. I tried to pull one out. I tried to pull the word out.
You tried to. I gave you profundity, and you were like, you know,
yeah, I got one.
I got prestigious. And that's what I be talking about.
All right, let's get into this. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, thank you for touching down. You know, you had the PJ come fly you in.
Always on the PJ.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Made time for us today.
Yeah.
Dropped some gems on us.
Couple.
But it took me a while to want to reach out to you because I was like, she's just doing too much. She's boss level. But you know, my wife Summer was like,
Yes.
just reach out to her.
Yes.
She will be amazing to talk with. I would love to hear
Summer,
that.
no, I'll do whatever she asks me to do.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, let me just shoot my shot. If not, I got somebody to clean up my mess. So I was like, I'm gonna shoot my shot. If it breaks out, I'll ask somewhere to clean it up. So, but no, I appreciate you making time. And then
definitely.
I guess we could kind of get into just how we met.
Yeah.
So
on Twitter, like.
Is that how it was?
It is. I was talking about how I randomly tweeted from the semicolon page, like, I want a Scent Rock piece in the store. And you were like, what's good? And I was like, we got to get some more money first. Hold on.
Right. I didn't want to say anything, but I was like, I'll do it for free. I'll pull up right now. Because I was following what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, my wife's this reading and writing teacher, so she's already knows what's going on in the streets, in the literature streets.
In the
so I was like, I gotta follow this store, see what they're about.
Yeah.
And everything you guys are about was from day one, from the jump. It was dope.
Like, we came in this thing with $0.
Yeah.
$0. My partner and I got that space, paid the rent up, and that was all I had.
Yeah.
That was all I had enough to pay the rent. So we had like $70 in our account, and we were like, can't lose. So
That's
we
crazy.
actually got our first books from the Salvation Army because none of the book
really?
publishers would wouldn't give us credit to buy books. So we had to make some money first. And then we started making money, and it ain't stopped. And we're like, if we making money, we giving it away.
You're making money. And I felt like it was a movement. I was like, yo, what's going on? What's going on over there? This is like, you're not just a bookstore. This is a movement going on.
Community. This is community entrepreneurship at its finest. This is what you're supposed to do when you're able to make money, when you have a retail space in a community. You're supposed to get that money away. Like, I know that Jeff Bezos would not agree.
Right.
But that ain't none of my business. Like, we do what we do. And because we give so much money away, people support us heavy. Like, we won't ever have any issues because all we got to do is ask, which is why we don't ask. We just do our thing and we give away everything we got.
At this point, you guys don't need to ask because the community is already there.
They're there. They see us. We could be having a bad day. They sending the food over. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is dope to have built that community.
Yeah.
And we're not even 2 years old yet. Can you imagine?
That's the dope part.
What's the Jay-Z quote? Y'all should be afraid of what we gonna do next. Because
this is just a start for you.
This is the start. We won't be 2 until June.
Yeah.
And so we got some.
You know what's crazy is it feels like you're still brand new. Maybe because of all 2020, everybody feels like that was just a blur of a year, but
it was a blur. We kept going viral. And we are the wrong people to go viral because I don't know how to talk to people. And so my team recognized that and they usually swoop in and save the day, but I'm not the one. So, you know, when George Floyd died or whatever, and everybody swooped into the store and we had lines literally around the corner, we would get a lot of women in there crying real tears, crying to us like, I hate white people so much. And it's like, sis, what you want me to do about that? We had that all the time. And we would be like, we would just tell them like it was, like, girl, your tears not helping me right now. You gonna buy these books or no?
You're talking about white people.
White
Okay,
white
women.
people.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't the ones who weaponize their tears. Like they crying real tears.
I want you to notice this.
I need you to see this and see that. I support you. Support me with these books and get out.
Right.
So that didn't go well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to use sympathy as a...
Yeah, it is what it is. Like, don't come in a black-owned space crying about your white non-issues.
Right.
Like, you don't have no issues,
Right.
sis. You good.
Right.
And you gonna buy these $1,000 worth of books and you gonna go on and live your life. And this $1,000, we are about to take $850 of that and give it to the community who can't read.
Put it back in.
You know? And you ain't never worried about those types of things when you go home to your library. But these kids don't have books because books are expensive.
Right. Some people are able to see it on social media, what's going on, or on the news, what's going on.
Yeah.
Some people got to feel it. You know what I mean? As opposed to seeing it, some people feel it.
You gotta feel it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when these kids can't get a $25 book, that's problematic. And I know I was that kid. Like, I didn't buy no books when we got to buy food.
Right.
What are you talking about? We didn't have any books in our house. And yet, me and my two siblings are all PhD level professors.
Wow.
So it's crazy, right? Like, crazy.
I'm snapping.
My mom
Damn it,
is...
Zach, give it up.
Listen, my mom is illiterate. But she understood that if she could get us interested in the pictures, in the books, we would be interested in books. And it worked. My mom was cold. Like, she would take a book that she didn't even know what the story was saying, and she would just match up a snack with it. So it would be like, this book, they're going on a boat. And she would make us like a boat with a pineapple and shit.
Wow,
and it got us interested. My mama killed.
Give it up
And
to
she
your mama
got 3
for sure.
PhD
Ooh.
That's
kids.
wild.
Ooh, single parent.
Ooh, she's cold.
She cold. She did her thing.
Cold.
She don't be knowing what we talking about, but she know.
She know what
That's
she
so
did.
She know what
beautiful.
she did.
That's
She's
beautiful.
like, that's me.
That's me right there. I didn't even know what I was doing.
Was there a little bit inside of you like, you know what? My mom put this in me. I gotta do it for her.
I gotta do it for her. I gotta do it for my city. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, Duval County. If anybody knows anything about Duval County, it is a mess. It is. We have the highest AIDS rate.
Yeah.
We have the lowest literacy rates. It is everything wrong with this. It is everything people think the South is.
Right. When they talk about Florida.
Yeah, when they talk about Florida, you got the racists, everybody carrying, but ain't never no shootouts because we don't play that. You know? But it's like, that's what we come from. We come from, when you graduate high school, they like, you can go work in this call center and make this $10 an hour.
Right.
That was our vibe. Coming out of high school.
It wasn't
so when
career, it was just get some money to pay bills.
Get some money to pay the bills and live the rest of your life like that. And I'm like, man, ain't nobody in my family ever went to college, but I'm about to go and see what they talking about.
That's
like,
so
get some
dope.
drinks over there.
That's so dope, yeah.
So I went to college, and when I went to college, my siblings were like, all right. So we
you're
all went to the
oldest?
same college. We all graduated from the same college. You know,
That's dope.
we went to different PhD programs, but yeah, you got to get it started for your family.
That is dope, yeah.
Somebody got to do it.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 2 siblings. We're all a year apart. So I'm the oldest. Then my sister is 33. My brother is 32. And so she's just finishing her PhD. And her PhD is in school to prison pipeline.
Ooh.
Wow, that's I didn't even know they have degrees in that.
She created that degree because it needed to be done. Sis is cold.
See, people don't even think that you can
You can do that. And you can do whatever you want when it comes to your PhD program. You just got to do the work. You are now the only source for this information in the world because you're the only one creating the statistics, right?
Now they're the expert, too.
Now there's an expert.
Now they're the expert,
She's the only expert.
Let's talk to the expert. Who do you talk to?
Yeah.
Your sister.
That's it. She started teaching.
crazy.
She was teaching high school in New York, and she was like, this is crazy. These kids don't even have time to worry about trig. They got babies. They got families they got to take up. Don't nobody have time for this. But it is necessary to be learned. And that's when, you know, you kick in that school to prison pipeline, how these people are sending these kids to jail. And instead of just, you know, keeping them after school or anything like that, they're sending these kids to jail. The teachers are getting these records started on these babies.
Right.
That's a problem.
You
Black
know
and
what's
brown
crazy?
students.
I wanted to be the first member of my family to graduate high school, but also I wanted to, at all costs, avoid federal prison. You know, everybody's been locked up in county and jail, whatever, but I didn't want to go, like, feds, I'm going to stay away.
Yeah.
I'm going to start a new career path, like, for my family.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth of what it is. You know, sometimes you're like, the only book we had growing up was the Bible. and my mom would try to like make me. I'm like, Mom,
Man.
I
This ain't
appreciate you
real
instilling
life.
some of these morals, but
Yeah, no, I know what
I
you're
need
trying
something
to
else
do.
to kind of like.
I know what you're trying to do, but this is a fiction story, just like the other books. And you know, a lot of it feels
Ouch.
that way. Yeah.
All right, hey, we'll skip over that one.
Sorry, y'all.
Skip over that one.
That is
You know, but it's a story that's meant to give you morals.
Right,
And there
right.
are a lot of
There's a
books
lot of
that are
stories
written
in
that
there.
way, you
Right.
know? So to follow this one so closely where it makes you kind of forego everything else that feels right,
Right.
and you only do what it says is right, that's problematic.
You know what stuck out to me when we first started talking, or just anytime we have a conversation, one thing you always say is, I want to make reading cool. I want to make sure the cool kids are reading.
That's it. And that's what we doing. You can't believe
I was
we
like,
doing this?
man, I was like, that didn't hit me until, you know, as a kid, you know, in school you read,
Yeah.
the teacher makes you read books. And then now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, I need to be, what am I doing? Like, not reading.
Right.
And then I talked to my wife, she's a school teacher. Some of her students are reading what, like $10 a semester?
These kids reading for real.
For real,
These kids
yeah.
are reading for real, and
They're
love
blowing
it.
through these books.
People are
yeah.
on Instagram talking about books.
Yeah. The
Who knew?
authors are like superstars, the
Everybody,
illustrators.
the people who are supposed to be superstars who can
Yes.
actually change the world.
Yes.
We do a couple things here and there. We got this really big thing coming up with Valentino. We partnered up with Valentino.
Who's Valentino?
The designer. Come on, man.
Oh,
Brought
man.
something.
Hey,
on
my
now.
bad. I don't know
That's
Valentino.
crazy.
I was gonna ask the same thing.
I got Vans and Carhartt. Hey, give me some grace.
They did a shoe with bookstores. Like Vans got a shoe at Harriet's bookstore in Philly.
Yeah.
Who does this?
That's
Hold on, let's
sick.
rewind real quick before my ignorance. So you have a collaboration coming.
Yes, we have a collaboration coming with Valentino, the designer. This is, Prada ain't got nothing
Ooh.
on Valentino.
Ooh.
And that's a fact. Yeah.
I like this talk.
And they get to they're sending booksellers outfits to wear Valentino in front of the bookstore. That's the market.
Because it's power.
It's power.
There's power.
People pairing books with everything, and that's all we wanted. We just want these babies to read.
Yeah.
And when these people see fashion designers with books in their hands, what you think they're gonna do? That's all you're trying to do.
That's real.
That's the kind of marketing I like.
That's the kind of marketing I'm talking about.
For books.
So that's gonna be really dope. It's just books go with everything. So like you can market it however you want to. It don't really take much. We'll find a book to go with it. But man, like we trying to do some stuff with Nike Chicago. Let's do it.
Man, that's what needs to happen for sure.
Yeah. Nike Chicago be everywhere anyway. Like
Oh, yeah, they're
Nike
doing
Chicago
everything.
like your cousin that you always see. Like, hey, what up?
Yeah. You get an email from Nike, so we're doing that. Yeah.
This makes sense.
Let's make it happen.
Nike Chicago always down the street on the corner.
Yeah, they do
Nike
good
Chicago
stuff.
is selling. They are the corn man. That's Nike Chicago.
They got the goods.
They got
They're
the
everywhere you need them.
You know where to find them. They ain't
Yeah.
gonna never tell you exactly where they at, but you gonna see the line. Like, so it would be dope to do something with them because it's just so accessible. Everybody sees them. But right now, we just want to give these books away, man. I was telling somebody yesterday, like we gave away close to $1 million in books. First of all, it's stupid, right?
$1 million
That's
in
stupid.
books.
My accountants all agree. It's stupid.
Do people know that? You don't really talk about this
I
stuff.
talk about, I keep it in the hundreds, 200s. We actually gave away $1 million worth of books last year. And we did it purposely.
Yeah.
I needed to see. I wanted to give away half of what we made.
Yeah.
Why not? And to do that and to still
Why
be in
not?
existence.
Right.
Right. To
Right.
do that and still be in existence. How?
Right.
They say that's not how this works, right? That's not how capitalism works, but it
Right.
is how community entrepreneurship works.
Ooh.
And because we do what we do, our people come back and we're going to be able to give away $2 million this year.
Man,
Because that's how it goes.
And I can attest to this, Zach, because one day we walked into a bookstore just on some, I don't know what we're doing. We're looking for a bug.
Out here.
You know, I was ready to blow my whole, $50 I had in my pocket. And, Summer was like, oh, I'm looking for this book for my class. One of my students is really looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
So we go in. You're like, we don't have that book right now. We're sold out. But I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to order your entire class a book set of series, bro.
Yep.
I was already putting a list together, like, okay, this kid's gonna read it first.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
kid.
And kids will wait in line for these books.
We don't have to do that. Yeah. We don't have to be in a position where we gotta hold on the books.
You shouldn't make it hard for kids to read.
You shouldn't make it hard for kids to read, and it's so hard.
Perfect example, my little brother, he's locked up right now. We try to send him a book. They send it back.
They have sent that book back 4 times.
It's a book on t-shirt entrepreneurship.
Because they don't want these people to get out.
It's crazy, bro.
And not. They need that positive recidivism rate. They need that. They need you to get out and be right back. So if you're trying to have something to look forward to, you can't have none of that.
Yeah.
And that's the game.
Last I checked, it was 75-80% recidivism rate.
Yeah. And it's a reason for that. Because they're not learning anything in there. They're not even allowing the type of classes that would give them something to do when they get out.
Right. Imagine if people were able to go into these prisons or go into these schools and like really give them
the truth.
Yeah.
Really let them know that you can do anything. Can you imagine growing up and believing that you could have done anything? Because it's the same thing white people do every day. They truly believe that, and they do it.
For real.
Elon Musk. There's no reason that he be in space. There's no reason that exists. He believes that he can do anything. His parents made him believe such. The world made him believe such. Why don't our black and brown babies believe that?
Oh, well, we get taught kind of like fit in line. At least the Latinx community is like, you assimilate, you be lucky you're here. And
you lucky you here. Get this check and go home. And it ain't that. It just ain't that. Like, you can do anything, and it don't matter if it hasn't been done before.
Right.
And so, I tell my employees all the time, like, I have been at the bottom. I used to sleep in Grand Central Station.
Yo.
For real. Sleep. Like, knocked out, too. I didn't care. That's tell you how long I was in there. Right, snoring in Grand Central Station. I went to NYU for my master's, and I didn't have any money, but I got in. And all I needed to do was be in. But who can afford to live in New York? And, like, I ain't got no help.
That always blows my mind. Yeah. You hear people be like, so I moved to New York with no money in my pocket. I'm like, hold up. First of all, connect those dots for me.
Don't make sense. You can't.
One of the most expensive cities in the world.
You can't.
With no money. Make sense to me, please. Because I know what it's like to be broke.
I was just being broke in New York is different, though. Being broke in New York is different. I had no money. All I had was the ability to go to class, all right? And we ain't never had no money growing up. So I know what to do in a thrift store. I take $10. I can make it do what it do. I look like a professor, So they used to comment on how well-dressed I was. And they thought I was living well. And I was sleeping in Grand Central Station. And I had homeboys who also slept in Grand Central Station looking out for me every night. Just long enough for me to go to class. That's it. And I'm like, all I got to do is get to class. Ended up meeting the president of Barnes & Noble at NYU, where I ain't had no job, no home. I had been sleeping in Grand Central Station for a month. And he was like, all right, I want you to start on Monday. I like you.
Yo, the president?
The president of Barnes & Noble.
That don't happen. That don't happen, right?
Nobody knew. It never happens.
Yeah, that don't happen.
Nobody knew I ain't had none. Nobody knew. So I go Monday because I think he playing me. Like, you're from the hood. Somebody think he playing.
President, okay.
I'm gonna check it out.
See, I ain't had no computer. I couldn't Google.
Yeah.
He ain't had no phone. I ain't had nothing. I'm like, sure. You tell me 11, we can't change times because I ain't got no phone.
Right. I didn't get that email.
Yeah. And I show up and he's like, good to see you. Here go your office over here. These are the first authors I want you to talk to. You're going to be making $450K a year. See you later.
Hold on. 450K entry just right off the bat.
Because my job was to date. It's called dating authors. You're not actually dating them. You chill with them. You make them your bestie, right? And when you make them your bestie, they give a certain bookstore the exclusive.
Oh, okay.
And you only want exclusives. So I was gone 6 days a week traveling. I got to fly to this place, meet this author, get super tight with him, and be like, you should slide us that exclusive, right? That's my job.
Right.
Oh, because I was talking shit at a party,
Right.
And I did my job.
I lose jobs talking shit at parties. See, it works out. How it work out for you?
It's different.
What kind of parties is this?
We're not doing that project no more, bro.
You with the wrong company.
Right. It just wasn't meant to be.
It wasn't meant to be. No, it was dope, though. I loved it, but I noticed that we weren't doing anything for the community. We doing all this. Y'all paying me crazy. Right. By the time I left that thing, I was in 7 figures. Easy, without bonus. And we don't ever give any money back to the community. We don't ever give free books away, which is nuts, right? Because why not?
Why not? Right.
We can afford to. Look how you pay me. I have
how
a
many
driver.
units go out?
Like, I got a driver. I got a house that y'all pay for now.
Per diem.
So you're right.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I have a stylist.
Yeah.
When I need new outfits for these trips, as I'm going to the PJ, my
Right.
stylist brings my clothes.
Right.
And you mean to tell me we can't give books away? They didn't want to start that precedent, so I put in my 2 weeks. And ended up here broke
Wow.
again.
Wow.
Broke it. I put in my 2 weeks. I went to jail for a little bit.
Little vacation.
Segue.
Yeah.
Little segue. Well, don't get on probation in Florida. It ain't never over. That's the moral of the story. I got on probation. I used to be a fighter. I used to be a fighter.
That's how they get you. Probation is how they. I don't even want to go down that tunnel hole, but
probation is the thing. And I used to be a fighter, and I was off probation. They said I wasn't. U.S. might still swing. Enough of these. But they told me that I absconded. U.S. Marshals pulled up on me in Atlanta.
Oh my God.
Guns drawn. I'm looking around crazy like, who is in the neighborhood?
Right. What terrorist? Osama?
Like, they're not to get her.
Osama came to Florida?
They said my name and I was like,
No.
They're like, someone's about to have a bad
They
day.
went that way.
I don't even know who that is.
Go left and hook a right.
And the next
find
thing you
them.
know, I'm in jail because when I got to court, they were like, the judge was like,
Yeah.
I know that you're off probation.
Yeah.
You didn't come to your last court date to say you were off probation. I'm like, are you kidding me? And she was like, so we can do one of two things. We can put you back on probation or you can do the 6 months. Give me the 6 months.
How long was probation?
Probation was gonna be another 2 years.
Yeah, yep.
Which means I'm gonna reoffend.
Yeah, you're
And
gonna
like,
find
well,
something. You'll find something.
So
yeah.
and she was like, we can let you go right now. You back
Right.
on probation for 2 years, or you can do the 6 months. And I just did the 6 months because I'm not about to play with y'all no more.
Yeah. Okay. So did your 6 months, little couple semesters.
Yeah, couple semesters.
and then what happened?
I get to Chicago, and who was then my best friend is now my life partner. She owns an engineering company here. She is the dopest woman on the planet. Like, you ever seen black electrical engineers? They don't exist, especially as women. And she has a multi-million-dollar company with 200 employees now.
Ooh.
Shawty is cold.
Yeah.
But she wasn't that cold then because she was just starting. And I ain't had no job, and she barely had a job because we were building. And so
I've seen
she
that
was like,
potential, though.
You know, I see the potential. We see each other's potential.
Yeah,
Because now I'm a felon.
right.
I'm like, I ain't bringing enough to the table to run my mouth.
But I'll get you through these streets.
I got your back
I got your back, though. It's a level of loyalty.
That's
And
what I'm saying.
as her company is being built and I'm doing whatever she needs me to do and I'm building my separate companies and building them and selling them. And building them and selling them. And the next thing you know, I got enough money to not work for nobody else. That's crazy. Chicago.
My mind is not even computing right now.
I know.
What you're saying.
I'm still trying to process everything. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
wait.
yeah.
No, my real job, I call it my real job. My degrees, my PhD is in lit theory, and it's really the psychology of literature, which is also the psychology of art, which is the psychology of anything. And so my real job is curating museums. So Guggenheim, LACMA, anywhere. I curate exhibits. And because I curate exhibits, right.
I don't know what's going on right now.
It's crazy. I'm crazy. It'd be too much
Is
happening.
that after or before the...
It's during.
I'm following along. I'm tagging along.
So when I get to
keep
Chicago,
going.
I'm like, that's easy math. I'm broke. I had just went through a divorce. She was getting alimony, so I was like, I ain't got no money. I'm like, you know, you got to pay somebody alimony. You got it. And so I'm homeless and paying alimony and working for my homegirl who's starting her company. So I'm not getting paid, but I can stay at her house from time to time. So that's important.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is I start curating here, and then I start a curatorial company, and we get up to about 78, 80 employees. And then I sold, and then I started a media and marketing company because that's kind of my thing. I know what people need to see to get them popping.
Right.
And we got up to about 125 employees, and I sold that. And so taking that money from those sales was dope because it allowed me to do what I want. So what I really started first was my publishing company here. It is called Device for Muse. We publish authors of color. And we keep it super low key right now because we're not ready. The big publishers think we're just a small publisher.
Right.
But they think we're just a small publisher, and that works for us right now because you can't show up until you're ready to knock everybody out. So we got another year or so.
There's some big dogs in that field.
Big dogs, and these big dogs are getting together now. But what they don't have is the eye on the streets. What they don't know is what people actually want to read. They don't know that. They picking books that nobody's interested in. They're seeing all these Black and Latinx YA books that could kill, and they're not even giving them a marketing budget. Yeah. That's the problem.
Or you have some of these books that are appealing to that demographic, but written by people that aren't of that background.
Don't talk to me about that American Dirt book. Don't talk to me about that because we won't even sell that book. Yeah. Like, people come in asking for it, and we're like, you probably trash, aren't you? You're definitely American Dirt.
You just don't know. I'm going to pretend you don't know.
I'm going to pretend you don't know. Do you know?
Right. You told me about it. Yeah. American Dirt.
And like, it became a New York Times bestseller, even though every bookstore came out against it. No, don't sell that. And they like, no, we don't sell it. Because that's what publishers do.
They know people will buy it.
They know who gonna buy it.
Right.
It's a very specific group.
Right.
And so, after that, I opened my publishing company, and then I got cancer. And when I got cancer, they're like, hey, you can't go back to work. And having cancer is expensive. I don't know if nobody knows. Having cancer is really expensive. My chemo is on purpose. It's purposely done. My chemo and stuff was like $300K for a year.
God damn.
And that was everything I had, and I'm not working.
Yeah.
I'm not working. And so at this point, that's how Semicolon got started. I was walking down the street. I just told my doctors, no more chemo. Yeah. I'm done. I feel better when I'm not doing chemo. You can kick rocks. Right. And I was walking down the street just trying to clear my head and figure out what I was going to do. And I see this space for rent. And I don't even know what I want to do with that space. I ain't even got the money to be in this space. But I called a number.
I like that energy. I like that energy. Let's see where this leads me.
And the owner was there in 30 minutes. And we walked around it, and it was ugly. It was dark. It was dingy.
I remember what it was before.
Yeah, you know what it was. Like, it was dingy. It was disgusting. And I was like, this the thing.
Yeah.
Had no plans. I had no plans. But I had signed a lease that day.
That day?
That day, I signed a lease.
You're different.
I'm different.
You're different.
Because, like, when you've been at the bottom, what can you really lose? Let's be honest.
You're only looking up.
I can only go up from here. Right. And I've been at the bottom, and I've gotten this far. So if I go to the bottom again, I'll probably get further than this. Yep. That's just how I see it. I be taking chances with other people's money, But, yeah, that's how. That's what happened. And that's how Semicolon came to exist. It took us 3 weeks. It took me a day to decide the name, the concept, the logo, all that. It took us 3 weeks. We were knocking down walls ourselves. From the day I signed the lease, we were knocking down the walls ourselves. We were in there. She would work a 12-hour day and then come over and help me knock down walls.
That's so dope.
She cold.
So, Danny, 3 weeks into you signing the lease, you're gutting the place out. You're reviving it.
I'm reviving.
You're bringing the sage out.
Oh, the sage came out first day because I kept hearing things in there, and I'm like, no. It's still somebody in there. Like, we'll just be sitting there, and my employees will see a book fly off the shelf, and I'm like, he don't like what we talking about. We got to switch it up. Yeah, I'm Jamaican and Trinidadian. We don't care about them spirits. You don't care about them spirits, but you're not gonna throw stuff where you don't pay rent.
Right.
And that's the difference. So, like, whatever you need, you better calm down.
Right. We hear you. Relax.
But relax. But yeah, 3 weeks in, and we were open. And so it ended up happening. We got a lot of coverage. I didn't know I was only the third Black woman-owned bookstore in Chicago. In Illinois. I had no idea. I didn't do no research. This wasn't planned.
Because you were just doing it.
But a news,
you weren't like, I'll be the third and this, right?
I had no idea. But this newscaster messed it up and said I was the first. And so I instantly called him like, I don't think I'm the first. And then, so No Name's Mom is the first. Mama went off on Instagram.
No Name's Mom?
No Name's Mom was one of the first. She was like one of the first two.
That makes so much sense.
But somebody went off on Instagram, and I'm like, I ain't even in the door yet.
Right.
Now, I happen to not care. So I didn't even acknowledge.
Because it didn't come out your mouth.
It didn't come out my mouth, and I made the adjustment. And all you had to do instead of going off was hit me up directly and be like, yo, what's going on? And we could have had that conversation, but instead decided to get a little clout on Instagram.
Right. Yep.
And I love those things. I love that when that type of thing happens, because now I just feel like being an asshole.
You love the pettiness.
I love the petty.
You
I
live for it.
That.
You live for that. Yeah.
I welcome it.
See, that's why we get along.
Yeah.
That's why we get along.
Bring the petty over and let's talk about it, sis. And that
wakes you up.
That wakes me up in the morning. I'm lit now.
I got something to prove.
Yeah.
I got to prove something today.
I got something to prove today.
And you know what? I took that personal.
Yeah.
I took that personal.
And here we were. I was like, well, let me do it how it ain't been done then.
Right.
Since you don't want to call me and you obviously have my Twitter, you could have sent me a message. You could have did anything.
Hello.
You showing out.
Hello.
Well, let me do something. Let me do one better. Next thing you know, her daughter is hosting her book club in my store. But anyway.
Hello. Hello.
I just... That's how it went.
Facts only on this pod.
Facts only. And, when it comes down to it, like, I recognize that women of color, we feel like communities of color, it's crabs in a barrel mentality.
Oh, my God.
And if you doing this and I can't do this, and if you get further than me, and that's not real life, because
we got so used to being, I'm the one that represents.
Exactly.
They let me in. And I'm, you know what I mean?
They ain't had to let me in. I built the door.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And
you built the whole foundation.
I built the whole foundation. And I'll knock this bitch down and build it again.
Oh, that's so sick.
And that's the fact.
That's so sick.
And there's no doubt in my mind that it would occur. So I didn't like the pettiness to start. And I haven't dealt with any of it since. And it's because I think people have realized I don't operate on that level. I'm never going to even acknowledge you.
Right.
I'm going to do what I'm doing so that everybody acknowledges me. And you just got to be mad every day.
You got to
be mad every day. Like, dang, they got another.
You saw that.
Another news story. They got the news over there again.
Yeah.
Are they on Oprah?
They got a Ciroc mural. Oh, man.
That Ciroc mural be having people going crazy. People will pull their cars over and come in and be like, you have a Ciroc in here. Yeah. What's up?
Yeah. If it costs you, you can buy a book or two.
Right. They're like, can I take a picture? Yeah, you're going to get these books out.
Clear that shelf out right there.
Clear that shelf out right there, because that's a Ciroc. Exactly. And everybody ain't got these.
Exactly.
And that's the point. So, like, we just keep doing what we doing and don't worry about none of that other
shit. I love the passion that you bring to this. Like, I love it.
Son.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, because you didn't grow up being like, this is what I want to do. You're like, I'm just happy
I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time.
Having a good time.
What I'm supposed to do, what I realize now, I realized this actually when I was in jail, so that was important. I'm like, you have time to think.
Right.
You ain't doing nothing else. And I'm sitting in jail, and I realized I am supposed to change the world.
Yeah.
And I wasn't high when I thought it.
You know what's crazy about that thought is people then think, oh, you think you're like trying to be like Jesus, or you're trying to be like, it's like, no, you know how easy it is to change.
How to hand a child a book, and this book is the reason why their entire life changes.
Like, yo, that changes the world. Yep, that changed the world.
One person at a time, doing one good thing. Like you did your coloring books, and we sold them in the store, and that had enough money for us to give more books away. Like, you changed the world.
Right.
You do it every day.
How many more kids?
Change the world.
How many more kids? Yep. Oh, I can attest to that every day.
Yeah, every day. It's easy. And so
you gave her that set of books. She sent a picture. Every kid in that class was sitting there reading, like
in the book.
Nose in the book.
Telling you.
I've never seen that, bro.
That's
I'm
crazy.
telling you. First of all, it's
and shout out to these authors that are making books.
Shout out to these authors that can write for YA.
Who was the author?
Yep.
Andy Thomas.
Yep.
Shout out Andy Thomas. If you're listening, shout out. Thank you for what you do. Yeah.
But, that's all we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Every day. And we kind of can't lose. You can't lose when you're trying to do something good.
Right.
And it's not for clout, and it's not for none of that. So every time we
you're going to keep doing it. You're going to keep doing it.
Like, most people don't even notice. We don't even repost a lot of the stuff that major things say about us when we're included in a major outlet.
Or you're not trying to you're not trying to throw it out there like, look at they mentioned our name.
Yeah, we don't do none of that. We repost our actual customers who be in the store.
Right.
That's it.
Yep.
Because that's what it's about. So we gonna be here. We ain't going nowhere. If we do go somewhere, it's gonna be for a minute. I gotta make some more money. Just give me a second.
So, rumor on the street has it that, you got semicolon number 1, and there might be semicolon number 2.
We sliding through
number
some
3.
cities, we are being sponsored to open in other cities. We got sponsored. Somebody like, listen,
we
just
need
take
this.
this money.
Somebody's like, we need this again.
Our communities need this.
Yeah.
That's dope. Listen. But speaking of that, though, because you want to talk about where we at, but I was literally in Wynwood, and like, they go a St. Rock piece in Wynwood. You everywhere.
I'm out here. I'm outside. I've been around the block.
You outside, like, no matter where I go, there's a St. Rock piece. That's cool.
I've been around the block a little bit.
How does that make you feel when you started out just like drawing in your notebook?
Well, I think it's the same way that you feel when it's like kids then have somebody they could look up to. Like, yo, I got it out the mud. Like, trust me, I don't have an art degree.
Yeah.
Trust me, when I moved to this city, nobody was like, oh man, let's link up, let's get you a show. No, I went to gallery to gallery to gallery with a little printout. Like, yo, you want to show me? I did one show, sold out. Next show. Now galleries are, yo, come to my gallery. Come here.
Yeah.
And then, it's just snowball effect. When you got something authentic and real.
Authenticity.
And like you said, you can't lose.
You can't lose. Authenticity is the key. If you being yourself and killing it like that, you ain't even got to fake it.
Exactly.
You ain't got to be extra.
Exactly.
That's cold. People like that.
You just got to know how to maneuver right.
Listen, you out here.
Yeah.
Every time I see a St. Rock piece, I be like, my dog.
Right.
Every time my employees see it, they come in, they're like, there's a new St. Rock piece. They be so hyped.
Your employees are raw.
They are dope, but like they get so hype about anytime you come in the store, you're like, should I talk to him? Should I talk to you? You don't even know what be going on in the background. Should I say hi? And I'm like, don't give them too much. I just want to say hi.
Nah, your employees are raw. It's like you got a dope squad over there.
It's a dope squad, and this is the squad that's gonna, I gave my employees ownership of the company.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey, don't start, Zach. Don't start, bro.
We ain't doing none of that.
This is my studio.
I'm making notes. I'm making notes.
I'll be paying rent.
And that's how I feel sometimes. Like, y'all ain't even paying these bills. But anyway.
Hey, so I like how you pivoted off of that last question, though.
Yes.
I like that. So we're making moves outside. We're living.
We are living.
More.
We are living authentically. We are being sponsored. We're going to be open in 5 more states by the end of this year.
We'll let people, they'll count them soon enough.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have to count them up. And everybody going to have a different vibe. But, since your art everywhere, I guess you can be in all of them because...
We'll do it.
You are everywhere.
Okay, we'll wrap it up on this. So we did the mirror. I did the mirror at your space. It was cool. And then I come to find out afterwards all the stuff that you do in the arts.
Yeah.
Are you still doing artwork? And
Yes.
Okay.
Anytime I'm traveling, I was trying to explain this to Instagram the other day. I'm still curating heavy.
Yeah.
There are not a ton. I'm where the money resides. Wherever it is, I can be there in 3 to 5 hours. I am, there's still there's a need for a lot of Black curators.
Yeah.
We don't exist, especially not with the historical knowledge of art for certain pieces. And so I got to be where I got to be. And that's the thing that keeps Semicolon going, because if it were up to me, I would give all the money away. So I got to remake it.
I feel you.
So it's dope. And I love doing that. And as long as I can do both, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel how do you feel within the last year or so that's been like curating? And because now you see so much. Like I had my friend JP, I think he's been to the store a few times. He does flowers. Yes. He told me, he's like, bro, after this year, I was concerned that people would want to stop being my customer or stop supporting me, because it's like, oh, Black Lives Matter was such on every topic in the news.
Yeah, no, that's the truth.
He was like, I had to really worry. Like, people really want to support me or because they want to buy in.
Yes.
And then in your profession, you said there's not too many Black women curators.
No.
What
it
is
won't
that?
be.
Yeah.
And I think it comes from just a disinterest in having to deal with the politics of working in a white institution, because they're all white, even the Black owned ones, even the Black focused ones. They're white institutions. And to deal with those microaggressions when you could really just be somewhere else being your best self and not being mad every day when you leave work. I just deal with them well because I don't care. Like, you can't say nothing to me, Kathy, that's going to hurt my feelings. Okay? I'm going to get my money. I'm going to put my exhibit together and I'm going to mind my business.
Right.
And we are never in competition because you're not in my lane.
Ooh.
And I
That's
think
so
that
real. That's real.
if white people understood that, we wouldn't have nothing to talk about. We're not in competition. We're in different lanes, and you don't have to attack me. All you got to do is stay over there, okay?
Right.
So that's the major thing. You know, people should support businesses of color, period.
Right.
We made it.
Not because, let me come to you as a Latinx artist to show you love. It's like, no, I'm raw as hell.
I'm
like,
raw as hell,
you know,
period.
like, come on, like, support, like.
Support me for that.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't want to be no token nothing.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
support me because what I'm doing is dope and you actually care about it.
And then it's like someone like me, and I see you do it, we also give back to the community as much as we can. Yeah.
It's easy to do. And this is why the billionaire conversation that people be having, I'm like, if the right people were billionaires, this conversation wouldn't be had.
Right.
But y'all won't allow, y'all do everything you can to keep people of color from accessing those kind of dollars because y'all know we're going to prove that your entire system doesn't work.
It's not necessary, right?
I prove it every day.
It's not necessary.
It's
right.
not necessary. You don't have to do things the way it's being done.
So
and
true.
we prove that. We take the money we don't have and
And it's
still
not always
give
about
it to
the money.
community.
Sometimes it's about the power.
It's about the power.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we have more power.
Yep.
We have more power than any of these major corporations because our people rock with us for real.
Right.
It's not a temporary thing. So when we tell people to move, they move. And that's the real power. And that's what we have to focus on while we're in our lane. Make sure you have a group of people following you that when it's time to move, when it's time to get together on some shit, they in line. Beyonce, everybody get in formation.
Right. Formation. Zach, cue the song. Let's go. We're going to leave it on that note.
Yes.
Put it in post.
Yeah.
Man.
We'll cut it on that. That was perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. This was good.
I know when people hear it, they're gonna be a lot of people start.
Check your game.
I'm trying to focus, and you're saying so many things. I'm like, oh my God, this is so profound. Oh my God.
That profundity came from jail.
Profundity? Is that a word?
My PhD is in lit theory, y'all. I know all the words. You do not want to play me in Scrabble. It's not going to be a win.
Oh, man. I love Scrabble, but yeah, I won't.
Y'all play Scrabble?
I love Scrabble.
I'm a terrible